All right, today I'm going to go over the solutions to worksheet 1. And this will serve two purposes. We'll um, go over the steps or the requirements for gaining a full point. Okay, so here what we'll do is show you the solution that I'm expecting if you want to gain the full point. So the rubric is that if you uh, complete the problem mostly correct, I'll give you the full point. Uh, if nothing has been solved correctly, you get 0 points, or if the problem hasn't been attempted, that'll be a 0. Otherwise, I can assign a half a point if the problem is partially solved. Now, the second problem, the first problem really is a problem from your reading, and most of you did this one correctly. So what I'd like to do is jump right into number 2 and introduce StatCrunch. So I will now switch over to StatCrunch here. Okay. And let me start with a new spreadsheet here. So what I've done is um, I've opened up my StatCrunch portal. I've logged in using my login credentials, and now I'm just going to open StatCrunch, and now I will complete the spreadsheet for number 2. Now, before we do that, notice what we have here. We have our spreadsheet. It looks familiar, doesn't it? Looks like an Excel or a Google Sheets spreadsheet, okay? And in many ways, it's very similar. It's been designed to help you with statistics. Of course, Google Sheets and Excel can do that too. So this one is specifically designed for treating statistical data. So up here in our title ribbon here, notice that we've got a number of super functions. And if we mouse over those functions, you'll see a list pop up, right? Okay. And I want to focus in on 2 lists here. Actually 3 lists. Let's look at the stat list first. And here you see many different subfunctions. And as I mouse over the subfunctions, you get another list nested, and it may lead to other lists. Okay. So notice that in stats, you see a whole list of functions here. And in a way, if you take our textbook and look at chapters 1 through 12, you'll see that we'll cover all of these different subfunctions here in that 12 chapter curriculum. This list here gives us a list of various plots, right? We'll be using some of these plots in worksheet 2, okay? And then here finally you have your help list, and all of these various topics here. You should explore these at your leisure when you have time, especially the videos. This will help you if you're searching for answers on how to do StatCrunch. Many of the answers will be provided in some of these videos. If not, you can contact StatCrunch directly and they will answer your questions. Okay. So let's go back to stat, and first we'll enter our data. Our data I'm going to entitle months, so I'll entitle column 1 months, And now I'll directly insert the data here. So I have the data. Let me go ahead and type it in. Okay, in this data set, in the first worksheet, number 1, I've got 2, hit enter, 4, 11, 14, 15, 15 again, 16, 16 again, 18, 22, and then 24, 25, 28, 37, and 44. All right, let's look at this list to make sure I've got all the data. I've got the 15 data values here, okay? And I do a quick glance at my worksheet, and I see that I have all of the data there, okay? Okay, so here's the 15 data values that I've input into StatCrunch, and now I'm going to choose the stat super function, go down and choose mouse down and choose summary stats, and now I'll choose the columns option because I've listed my data in the column, and now I get an action window here, and I have a number of options that I can choose to calculate my summary statistics here. So obviously we're going to choose the column entitled months. We'll skip these two options and now go down to the statistics box. And on the right is a list of various statistics that we can calculate for that column. All right. And in your problem, number 2, we'll choose the mean, the variance, the standard deviation, the median, and the mode. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, we use the control key. So I'm going to hit control, leave that pressed, and hit N. Okay. And then I'll hit mean, variance, standard deviation, median. Remember, I'm hitting the control key here. If you don't hit the control key, you'll choose all of them. and then what else? The mode. Okay. All right, so let's go down our list on the right, and these are our chosen statistics that we're going to calculate. Skip down to compute, and this will give us our results. Okay, so now we have our results, and with our results, now we're going to copy and paste into our worksheet. So how do we do that? Well, we hit Control A. That'll select all of the box there, and then we'll hit Control C, and now we'll go back to our document and paste it right into our document, okay, using Command V. So now we have our solution, and most of you did not use StatCrunch, but you indicated to me if you got a full point of a formula and you were able to calculate your statistics based on the formulas that are given typically in Chapter 2. So there you have a formula for all of these various statistics. Or, as I just did, you can use StatCrunch to do your calculation. No calculators, no formulas. Automatically, it's been done for you in StatCrunch. And I will accept that if you use StatCrunch, copy and paste your results into your worksheet. Okay? All right. Now, some of you are doing these worksheets in the following way, and it's okay. You've downloaded your blank worksheet, you've printed it, and then you've basically done all of your solutions by hand using pencil, ruler, and so on. That's acceptable, but you have to be careful with that, because if you're doing your calculations and you only record your answer, then I have really no indication that you've computed the solution using either StatCrunch or a formula. So it's not obvious to me how you've come up with a single answer unless you justify it. So I'm looking for a justification using StatCrunch or a formula where you have listed the formula and you have calculated based on that formula. So obviously, I think what's obvious to you here is that using StatCrunch is the way to go. Go ahead and calculate your statistics in StatCrunch and then copy and paste those results right into your worksheet. Okay. The third problem here merits a little bit of discussion, and you see that in this problem here, we've binned the data using a somewhat arbitrary list of classes or categories. So we've split the data up into disjoint categories here. We've inspected the data and binned the data according to which class it falls in. Okay, so for example, one of these sample points might be 3 hours. Well, it'll be listed in the second category, right? 3 is between 2 and 4, so we count 3 hours as being in the second category using this frequency table and so on. So we can bin each of the 150 values depending upon its value, and if that value falls in one of these 6 categories here or classes. All right. These limits here, 0 to 2, are called the class limits. All right. The midpoint of these class intervals, you can see the first class limit is 3, is 1. The second class midpoint is 3, and so on. Okay. We'll use those in our worksheet too. All right, so here are the relative frequencies. After binning, we get column 2, which are the frequencies. Notice that they add up to the sample size, which is n equal to 150. The relative frequency is just the ratio of the frequency to 150. So if you go to your calculator, 26 over 150 is 0.17. 30 over 150 is 1/5, or 0.20. And 49 is calculated because you've summed up the given frequencies and subtracted from 150, leaving 49 for the class from 4 to 6. Okay, and 49 over 150 rounded to 2 decimal places is 0.33. Notice that cumulative frequency is just the accumulation of the frequency from starting with the first bin until the last bin. Okay, so start with the first bin, we've accumulated 0.17. In the second bin, we've added the 0.2 to the 0.17 to get an accumulation of 0.37, and so on. Finally, at the end here, when we get to the last bin, we've accumulated the entire set of data, so the cumulative relative frequency is 1. Okay. The sum of the relative frequencies in column 3 is also 1. Okay. And the sum of the frequencies is the sample size, or 150. All right. Okay, I'll skip numbers 4 and 5. Most of you did these correctly, and so we'll complete our